Welcome back to another Podcast, as Cousin Boomer would say. This is a case of the Mondays. Yeah, it's starting off good and dandy.
What a start.
It really is.
To the Podcast.
To the Podcast. Oh, yeah! The Podcast is going off. We're actually recording this a few days earlier than scheduled because we both had some time on our hands. But I am King Boomer, and we are joined by Cousin Boomer, a.k.a. Matt. How you doing, Matty?
Are we really a few days ahead? Or are we just like 3 days behind?
It could be that too. It could be that too. You may have a point there, my friend.
That's exactly what this is. Don't lie to our viewers.
Yeah.
All 67 of them will be mad at you.
Well, we've gotten into the routine of doing it every 2 weeks. So this is technically, if we're sticking to that schedule, we are a few days ahead.
I guess if you put
But if we were considering it, trying to do it every week, we would be a few days behind. So
100%.
There we have it. But I wanted to do this podcast tonight because we had some free time on our hands. And
we got a lot to talk about.
Yeah, we actually could have a lot to talk about. But what's going on with you right now?
Let's see. Still trucking along in class. Put in my first app to a fire station yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. To the local one here, which I won't say because then people will know where we live.
You know, I think you should just take that resume and send it to the Avengers.
I'm going to send it to the Avengers, and I'm going to send it to Space Force.
There you go. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Because it'd be really cool to have a superhero as a friend, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty badass, I would say, you know?
Yeah. I'm actually going to start this off a little differently than normal, because this is a little... It doesn't have to do with, any recent news or anything, but this was actually, today when one of my videos posted, I got a notification on my YouTube channel. Sometimes when people reply to certain comments that I make, I get a notification, and I got one from Lunar Rat. So if Lunar Rat, if you're listening, shout out to you, and you brought up something that was very intriguing and interesting to me. I don't think I can pull it off or anything, but it was interesting. He says, and I don't know why he mentioned this, and maybe I mentioned something about passports in this video. I can't remember. But he said, if you have Italian ancestry, which I do, you might be able to get an Italian passport as their rules are slightly different. Now, I think I mentioned I have Italian ancestry in a previous video. It might be this one, I'm not sure. But, because I don't keep track of my videos or rewatch them or anything. But that's quite an interesting thing to learn about. And we went back and forth a little bit because I was interested in what he had to say. So I asked him a little bit about it. And he replied, the benefits would include freedom of movement all around the European Union countries, if you have an Italian passport, or I guess a passport from any European Union country, to be honest. But, and he says, no more waiting in the long passport control lines, and access to European Union healthcare while there.
You know,
that sounds interesting, doesn't it, Matt?
100%.
What?
If that's real, I don't want to question the validity of Lunar Rat here. Sounds like a gentleman and a scholar, but if that's true,
yeah. I love that name, Lunar Rat.
Lunar Rat. If that's true, dude, we should get Italian passports together.
I know, right? Well, I replied to one of them. I said, what did I say here? I said, I have a passport from the States. Are there benefits to having an Italian passport? And that's what he replied to. And I said, I don't speak Italian, and I've never been to Italy. But I also said, I doubt they would consider me, though, because my ancestry is half Italian, not full. And his reply was, he read an article recently about this. Apparently, if you can prove that an ancestor was born to Italian citizens after leaving Italy, then the right of blood, he put that in quote marks, right of blood means you can apply for an Italian passport. You would need to be able to prove this with documentation. Now, that all sounds good and well. I would be very interested in doing that, but I don't know full details of my ancestry. But I do know this. On my Italian side of my family, my ancestors arrived here in the 1840s. So there's two problems here. One problem is, if there is documentation, it's from the 1840s, and I have no fucking clue where that documentation is, or even if it still exists. And the second thing is, Italy was not a unified country again until the 1860s. So, Lord knows what that documentation would say. I do know that my ancestors are from northern Italy. Hence the reddish-toned hair and the lack of pigmentation.
Yeah.
But, yeah, he sent me this stuff, and I was immediately interested in it, but it would be a long shot for me to find documentation, even if it was valid. What do you think about all this?
I am currently on ItalianNow.it.
Are you?
Yes, and I think the "it" stands for Italy because they're really pouring into the Italian thing, helping Americans claim their right to Italian citizenship.
Oh, that's even further.
This is a real thing. This whole have Italian descent. If you're an American with Italian descent, you can get a citizenship passport. Yeah. Dude, this is like
just a passport, though, right? Not like Italian citizenship or anything.
I'm seeing a couple different things. I typed in getting an Italian passport, and I see get Italian citizenship. Find out how today on that website.
Mm-hmm.
I've got Italian dual citizenship legal services. Italy citizenship passport, but foreigners can get an Italian passport after working for the Italian government for 5 years. No, that's not it. Apparently it's real. The whole having an Italian descent, you can get an Italian passport. If that's the case, dude, I've always wanted to go to Italy. And
oh, hell yeah.
I'm pretty sure my mom would crap her pants if she found out we got an Italian passport. So, I'm definitely...
That's right, because you're part Italian too, right?
Yeah, I'm Irish, Italian, and Chilean, South America. But I've always wanted to go to Chile. I've always wanted to go to Italy. I've always wanted to go to Ireland. I want to check out like where all my family's from. So I would so be down to like get an Italian passport. I don't know when to plan a trip to Italy, but I'd be down.
Yeah. Italy is there's a lot of places in Italy I would love to go, but it just cracks me up that I could, as an American who has Italian ancestry, the possibility of getting an Italian passport when I don't speak a lick of Italian.
I don't speak a lick of Italian. My mom doesn't. My grandma did, but she is no longer with us, so I can't get her to teach me Italian real quick before I go over there, unless I buy a Ouija board. That's a terrible joke. I'm sticking to my guns, but no. No one in my family alive.
You fucking Muppet.
It's been a 13-hour school day. All right, get off my case. Anyway.
Okay.
Oh no, dude! What am I saying on this fucking podcast? Anyway, I lost my train of thought. No one in my family alive right now can teach me Italian, but that's not going to stop me from going to Italy. God damn it, I'm down.
I know, right? Just to get your hands on one of those.
I'd be down. I want to I think I want to go to Europe anyway. I mean, it's like a 14-hour flight to get over there, or 16-hour flight to get over there. But like, I'm down.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that flight when we go to Greece.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to it. I wouldn't be looking forward to flying back either.
You know, I'm going to instantly... Yeah, that too. And apparently, we got a message today that on the flight back that... excuse me. The crossover period, because we got to take 2 flights.
Yeah.
We're actually going to be spending 4 hours in Switzerland.
Oh.
It was going to be 2, but apparently they changed one of the flight times, so it's going to be 4 hours instead of 2. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're going to get out of the airport and do stuff in Switzerland or anything.
It's an airport. You're there for 4 hours. There's no point of getting up and going.
Yeah. So I'm not looking forward to the flight there or the flight back, but I know that as soon as I get off the plane on the flight there, And I'm instantly going to forget about the damn flight. Because I'm going to be in fucking Greece, baby.
Hell yeah, you are.
It's going to be great. But yeah, back to the Italian thing. Yeah, I bet you if I went back, even my great grandparents on my Italian side, I bet you they didn't even speak Italian. Because, they're so far removed from Italy, even at that point, because, the first ones arrived in the 1840s.
Yeah.
So it's, and, in those days, especially if you had a light skin, you made it a mission to Americanize really quick.
Oh, yeah. My great-grandpa and grandpa from South America Americanized their names really quick. So, I get it.
Mm.
Yeah, do what you gotta do.
Yeah. But isn't that interesting, though? Like, hop on over and get your Italian passports.
I've said it. I said it before. I'm down. I'm so down.
Yeah. And it's like, I just imagine going over there and, like, being all smiles, walking up to the desk, and it'll be like, hello. How are you, sir? I'm good. I'm here for my Italian passport. Let me see your identification, please. And I give them the identification. They go, this American Muppet. Fuck off. Get out.
They can't stop you because you're Italian anyway.
Oh, yeah. Like, I got documentation right here. I could give a fuck. Get out of my face.
Goodbye.
No more Americans in my country.
Goodbye.
I don't even know if that's a good Italian accent. It's probably shit.
Probably shit.
Yeah.
It's probably shit. You should feel bad. Anyway.
What would be the number one thing that you would want to see in Italy if you went?
Is it basic of me to say the Colosseum? Because I would love to go to the Colosseum.
I mean, who wouldn't? That's not a bad answer. I mean, it's probably the most famous thing there, I would think, maybe. Mine wouldn't be the Colosseum. It would be probably the Forum.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, just to see where all the senators held their sessions. That would be really dope. I mean, that whole middle of, they still got, I believe, the most of those buildings intact, like right in the heart of Rome, like where the important Romans did their day-to-day stuff, all around there. I'm sure there's other buildings famous buildings that I can't even mention right now, but mine would be the Forum.
I would definitely like to take a ride on the Grand Canal. That'd be awesome too.
Yeah.
What do they call those little boats that they use?
I don't know. I have no idea what they're called.
Little boats they use in Venice. I typed little boats they use. It's the gondola. That's what it is. The gondola.
This might not be a good thing to say, but I heard Venice smells.
Well, they use the waters. Apparently, according to this tourist site, the reason why you're not supposed to go in the water is because they use the water as like almost like a sewage thing, in sorts.
Yeah, because you can't pump it out anywhere else. The whole city's in the middle of a giant lagoon.
According to this website, it says the use of canals as a sewage disposal system in Venice surprises many visitors. So, apparently they use it as a sewage disposal system. Yeah. Which I can't speak for the validity of that because I don't live in Venice. But, if you read it on the internet, it must be true. So.
Yeah. Other than Rome, would that be your number one Italian city to visit?
Yeah. I don't know much about Italy. That's why I want to go. But I think that's a good American answer. I don't know much about it, but I want to. And
we don't know shit.
We really don't. We are so... Dude, America is so...
Whoa. You are breaking up like crazy right now.
I'm breaking up like crazy?
Yeah.
Oh, boy. I said America is so blissfully unaware of the rest of the world.
Hold on a second, Matt. I'm going to hang up on you and call you right back, okay?
Oh, no.
Hold on. Podcast. Sorry about that, fellas. We're having technical difficulties on Discord, and it is sometimes... It might be a problem on my end because my internet sucks, but here we go. Let's call him back. Hello.
Well, technical difficulties. So you know what? I'll take it.
Yeah, you're still breaking up a little bit. It might be a problem on my end, but we'll see how it goes. If it gets any worse, we'll just stop it and try this another time.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't think my second city would be Florence, and I don't even know if this is still technically a city. It might just be a town. But actually, I don't even know what the name of the town is. I just know it's there. It's the town right next to Vesuvius that was destroyed when Mount Vesuvius blew up way back during the Roman Empire. What?
I said it'd be a cool place to check out, too.
Yeah. I mean, they got so much... One of the best things about that place is they got so much stuff that's well preserved because of that eruption. And actually, most of the intimate knowledge that they have about the Roman Empire is because of that explosion and all the things that it preserved underneath the ash and everything.
I think it's obviously a tragedy, but I think that's actually crazy. Like,
yeah. There's actually
that time.
Yeah, there's actually a actually I could probably pull this up right now. There's a actually look this up, Matt, because I don't want to mess my screen up. Okay. There is a, what is it called? A mosaic. It's like it looks like a painting, but it's actually like you put up very tiny stones like individually, like, and collect them into like kind of like a I want to say like a walking entrance kind of thing, but it turns out to be a painting. Look up the Alexander Mosaic. Okay.
Oh, are you talking about the Sistine Chapel?
No, I'm talking. Look this up. Type this up in Google. It's called Alexander Mosaic.
That's the first thing that came up when I typed in Alexander.
Yeah, and look at that. Look at the images and see if you can send one to me, and I'll tell you if it's the one.
The Alexander Mosaic, known as the Battle of Issus Mosaic, is a Roman floor mosaic originally from the House of the Faun in Pompeii.
Pompeii, that's the town. I can't believe I forgot that was the name of the town.
Did you really not know that? Didn't I say Pompeii?
Yeah, but I think it was while you were breaking up a little bit, so I didn't hear that part. But yeah, clip an image and send it in the chat. Yes, this one right here.
That's it.
Yeah, this was... I can't drag it in the thing. It would have been interesting if I could do that. But, actually, let me...
Yeah, this particular mosaic is made of about 1.5 million tiny colored tiles called tesserae, arranged in gradual curves called opus vermiculatum, also known as worm rock, because they seem to replicate the slow motion of a crawling worm. Huh.
I didn't know that part. That was interesting.
The tesserae were about 0.08 inches wide. It is estimated that over 4 million pieces were used in the mosaic. Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is wild.
Yeah, so you just take little bits of pieces of rock and you end up with this.
Can you imagine how many pieces? Like 4 million pieces. Can you imagine? Like, just fathom that in your head, how long that must have taken to set up?
Good I know, God. It's unreal, isn't it?
Good God. That's a lot.
But this was, what did you say it was? It was found in the outside the House of Faun?
I think it was, no. It was originally from the House of Faun. The House of Faun constructed...
That doesn't sound like a Roman name.
It was a grand Hellenistic palace that was framed by Peristyle in Pompeii.
Mm-hmm.
The House of Faun is like an entire work of art, almost.
Yeah.
Yeah, this impressive estate is found in many great pieces of art that were well preserved from the ash of the eruption of Mount Vesuvius, one of the most luxurious, aristocratic houses from the Roman Republic, and reflects this period better than most archaeological evidence found even in Rome itself. So this place is not only an aristocratic. Jesus
aristocratic.
Christ. Holy art. Aristocratic house. It's not only an aristocratic house, but now it is also a giant piece of art. And apparently, the Alexander Mosaic is from the House of Fawn.
Yeah. Why won't this drag?
The entirety of the Alexander I need a minute. I need a minute, bro. I need a second. Holy.
Hang in there, Maddie.
Dude, I'm not doing so hot. All right.
No.
Apparently not. All right. This is one of those winged episodes for us for full context to our viewers. This is like a winged episode for us, and I'm not functioning well. I have a lisp because I bit my tongue the other day, and I'm off a 13-hour day, so my whole mojo is thrown off right now. The Alexander Mosaic is 8 feet 11 inches by 16 feet 8 inches. It has 4 million pieces of 0.08 inch wide pieces of tesserae. I think that is wild. And the fact that they moved it is even more wild.
Yeah, that would seem almost as difficult as making it. But yeah, it's basically like, when it comes down to it, the simplified version of that description is, we found this very hard to make piece of art right on the doorstep of a rich guy's house in Rome. Or in Pompeii, a Roman rich guy's house in Pompeii.
Yeah. I think it's I think this is cool. I love little fun facts of history like this. I can't wait to listen back to that portion of the episode and just like face palm the entire time. I'm so ready for it. I love history, man. And you know that I'm a big. I love like war history. I'm a big World War history guy. I love like I love like the history around like Pompeii and like natural disaster history. I think that stuff is like so interesting that like the Earth can just do that kind of stuff, like Pompeii and the big great tsunamis and things like that. Like it's almost like it almost puts you in a state of awe. You know what I mean? Like holy hell, the Earth is capable of this.
Yeah.
But
I always go back to thinking about how difficult life must have been back then.
Oh my god, dude. They didn't even have YouTube back then. Can you imagine?
Oh man, I can't live without that, especially now.
Can you imagine trying to do an entire podcast but written down?
What do you do? You have to do it in an amphitheater?
You just you write down the whole podcast and you throw it at people. No, you can do it in an amphitheater.
You throw it at people. Oh shit.
Dude, it's such a weird episode already.
I know.
We're like 20 minutes in. Or probably not even.
No, actually we are. We're 23 minutes in.
I'm so
It didn't seem like it, but
I'm so
wow,
smart.
that went fast.
I know. Look at us, dude. We have so much more to talk about. We're really in it, dude. I'm digging this episode's flow. It's really weird and erratic. I'm really about it.
Yeah. So currently we're on the Roman Empire. Do you think the Roman Empire was the most impressive empire the world has ever seen?
No.
Which one do you think is?
I think the Mongol Empire is.
Really? That's a good one.
Well, the Roman Empire was awesome. There's a lot of different things that go in the Roman Empire, philosophically, and they did kind of modernize. They modernized a portion of trade in Europe and all that, but like the Mongol Empire is so crazy. Like Genghis Khan is like such a crazy guy,
Ruthless bastard.
and the fact that there is a determinable percentage that you can find of the world's current population that are descendants of Genghis Khan because he slept with so many women that he just
let's say what it is. He raped so many women.
Well, yeah, okay, yeah, you know what I mean.
I mean, let's be real. Come on. He basically, he would conquer, the next tribe over, or the next country over, and then just round all their women up in a tent and keep them as sex slaves. That's what it was.
Apparently, according to Google, at this current moment in time, or sorry, no. This is a study from 2003. According to a study from 2003 from National Geographic, at that point in time, the world's population, 0.5% of the world's population was a descendant of Genghis Khan. 0.5%. What is the population?
Do you know? Do you know? Isn't it like also like when he was conquering all these people that he killed like 10% of the world population?
Yes. Well,
yeah. So he's down about 9.5% at that rate.
There are 6.352 billion people on the planet in 2003. 0.5% of that, 0.5% of that were descendants of Genghis Khan. That is crazy to me. That is crazy. It is like mind blowing to me, dude.
I think that the amount of people that he killed was even crazier.
You know, some.
Can you imagine? Have you heard of any of the like, you know, the Mongol Empire? It covered the most what is the word? Contiguous land territory, like all that can connect together, like the largest land empire in history.
Yeah, because he almost like unionized the world, dude. Like everywhere he went, he would bring people in, and he didn't always kill everybody either. There was points, you know. I mean, don't get me wrong, he was a ruthless man, but you know,
tell that to the Middle East and Eastern Europe.
yeah, that's fair.
I mean, the whole Kievan Rus was obliterated because of that guy. He lost an entire culture that we barely know anything about because of that guy.
That is true. He actually did a lot. You know, he was like one of the few. Did you call him a ruler? He was one of the few rulers back then who actually took anybody and made them part of his people. Like if you were like a good fighter and you cared about the people that you fought with, and you were like an honorable person in battle or whatever, and he didn't kill you, you could actually have a chance of joining his ranks. And anyone from any population can actually hold like military power in his armies. I think that was kind of cool.
Yeah, if you said yes.
Well, I mean, it's between that and death. I would take it, to be honest. But
I mean, the amount of, I say it like, you know, one, I'm going to say it like if I was living during that time, and if I was something of a badass, which I'm not. But if a group of people,
short, Brian.
If a group of people came in and slaughtered my entire family and hundreds of thousands of people around me, of my fellow countrymen, and basically I was all that was left, and he said, "You fought well. Would you like to be a part of my army or my culture and learn about it?" I would tell him, "Kick rocks. Fuck you. Put the knife in me right now. Do what you have to do." You just destroyed my entire town.
Listen, man, why you gonna put my points down like that?
Well, I'm just saying, like, I'm not saying like the people who said, "Yeah, sure, I'll join you," like, are like cowards or anything. But I just, you know, I don't know. It's just one of those, like, the Mongol. I don't look very highly on the Mongol Empire because, to me, what did they do other than slaughter a bunch of people? I mean, you probably know more about the Mongol Empire than I do, but
he actually made a lot of trade possible in the whole like Southern Asian,
the Silk Road
area.
Road.
Yeah. So he actually. I mean, I'm not justifying everything that he did, but you know, he made a lot of trade possible. He brought a lot of tribes together that formed like current standing countries to this day. Like,
yeah,
the guy is like, he's very organized for like his time. Like, it's actually kind of surprising how organized he was with all of his armies that he was able to keep in check. He had a rudimentary mail system back in the day too, that was able to like deliver messages all across his empire, like all across his different empires and stuff. And like he was actually like one of the most like well-rounded like tacticians of his time too. He's actually kind of a badass when it comes to fighting. Like,
Oh, no shit.
I mean, no shit.
Like that part, the military part is highly impressive if you're into that kind of thing. I do look at when it comes to military victories and how they were achieved and the tactics that were used. I'm into that stuff too. And yeah, it's highly impressive, but when if you take out the military aspects, I mean, the Mongol army they were all on horseback.
Oh, yeah.
Entirely on horseback, so they could move with great amounts of speed over great distances, and almost nobody could stop them, except the Japanese, apparently. Did you know that? You ever heard of divine wind in which is kamikaze in Japanese?
I've heard of kamikaze.
Yeah, well, it means divine wind, and that actually came from a battle where they defeated the Mongols when they tried to cross that part of the sea to get into Japan and conquer them.
Huh.
Because there was actually two major battles, I think. I could be wrong, but the kamikaze, the divine wind, actually came about when I think the Mongols had already been defeated, but they came back a second time, and the second time a massive storm destroyed the majority of their ships, so it made the expedition pretty much useless at that point, to where they had to turn back.
Yeah,
and the Japanese said it was divine intervention from the gods, basically.
Oh yeah,
and that's where the kamikaze came from, divine wind.
Huh. That's a fun fact.
Yeah. But other than the Japanese, I don't really know anybody who managed to stop the Mongols. I'm sure there's others, but when they were like in their prime, just beating the shit out of everybody, I don't think the Japanese are the only ones that I know definitively defeated them. Because I guess you have to beat a samurai to beat those guys.
I don't know if you ever actually answered your own question.
What?
What's your favorite empire from back in the day?
My favorite, or the one I think is the most impressive?
We'll go with most impressive. That's the one you asked me, right? Yeah.
Right, yeah, the most impressive empire. And I'm not trying to placate my subscribers, but I have to say the British Empire. I think it's the most impressive by far.
Couldn't stop us, though. Back-to-back World War II.
No,
back-to-back World War champs. All right, come at it with a better argument.
And folks, if you're listening, we did it together. Okay, we may have showed up a little late. It may have taken a sneak attack to get us in the game, but we got in there, and we helped each other out.
Hey, French guys, thanks for helping us be a country.
Oh my God! Hey, they did help us become a country.
I have been known to talk a smack or two about French people.
Their history in especially in military terms after that is very shaky, but they did help us become a country, so we got to thank them for that. But no, the British Empire is definitely the most impressive empire, in my opinion. I mean, just think of that tiny island conquered a quarter of the world.
Yeah,
a quarter of the world from this island, right to the north of Europe, and they conquered territory all across the world, and that's where the saying comes that the sun never sets on the British Empire. I mean, at any given, when the empire was around, at any given time, the sun was shining on a certain part of the empire. Huh. Think of all the places that they went to, and the things they left behind. I mean, like a place like India, they're still using the train cars and the railway systems that the British built there.
Interesting.
And India's considered. I mean, it's considered a advanced country nowadays, I would think. But they're still using a lot of the British train cars and the railway systems. And, you can't beat the British Navy. That's all I'm going to say.
They were quite the powerful Navy.
They were powerful and they were everywhere. That was, I think that was one of the quotes about from, excuse me, Napoleon. That I think he said that everywhere he went, he ran into the British Navy, and that screwed everything up for him.
Yeah.
And he was an army commander, even though he was an emperor too. But, he'd march his army to one sea or the other because there was nobody left to fight. And he'd see the British Empire on the horizon.
Wasn't the War of 1812 a Navy war, kind of?
I mean, there's parts of it that were. There was the that's how we got the Star Spangled Banner national anthem, was because of the battle in the port of Baltimore. I think it was 1814. Was that battle? Something like that, maybe. I could get my dates wrong. But
why does every country's national anthem sound so boring?
You think they all sound boring?
Have you ever heard them at the Olympics, man? They're boring. I mean, do you have any of the...
It's probably because they're much older than ours.
Do you have any of the national anthems of the countries on your iPod? I didn't think so. You know?
No, I do not. No.
I'm not going to lie to you.
And I only know one. I really only know one other one. I know God Save the Queen.
I know the Russia's theme because of all the memes.
Is that still their national anthem, though, or are you talking about the Soviet Union national anthem?
Yes.
Yes. I don't know if it's still... I doubt it is.
I doubt it.
I could be wrong.
Sure that's the Soviet Union's theme. I don't know if it's Russia's actual theme.
That one's badass.
Oh, it's hilarious. Dude,
it is hilarious. Because it's hilarious because of the memes, but honestly, if you heard that, you'd be like, oh, shit.
Like, if you heard it back in those times, you're like, all right, well, sounds like we're going to war again.
It's like... Yeah. I mean, most of the national anthems must be pretty boring because you're right. I don't have any on downloaded or anything. I remember hearing a couple times I've been at a baseball game where Baltimore Orioles game, because that's where I'm from, and a couple times they were playing the Toronto Blue Jays, and before the game they played both national anthems, the American and the Canadian one. And I remember, I can't remember how the Canadian one goes, but I remember thinking, wow, that's a really dull national anthem.
Yeah.
Even if you, like, it was so dull to me that even if you played it for me right now, I wouldn't recognize it. And I had been to maybe 5 or 6 games in Baltimore where they were playing the Toronto Blue Jays. Couldn't tell you a thing about their national anthem. I just remember going, that was really lame.
Damn.
No offense, Canada. Sorry. I know you guys are our neighbors, but wasn't a fan of the national anthem. But yeah, back to the empires. Let's get back to the nitty-gritty talk. British Empire, most impressive empire, I think. My favorite is the Roman Empire, but most impressive, the British Empire. Can't deny it. What do you think about that?
I'll agree. They're definitely, they're kind of one of the most recognizable.
They were everywhere. Everywhere.
Yeah.
And even when I think one of the most impressive things was even after we gained our independence, because that was it would seem like, especially from an American perspective, that would be a major loss for them, losing the 13 colonies, since it was such a moneymaker for them. So you would think there would be like a decline after that, but no, they ramped it up. They were like, all right, well, we lost our cousins across the Atlantic. Let's look around. Where can we go? Okay, we're already in parts of Africa. Let's get in a lot of parts of Africa. What's that over there? That's India. Yeah, that's a nice, big, juicy piece of, what do they got? Lots of gold. They got lots of resources. Let's go in there and get them. Take it over pretty quick. What's over here further to the east? Oh, China. Hello, China. Oh, look, they're not really technologically advanced in weaponry like we are right now. Let's go. What's this? You have opium? Let's take that too. So they went everywhere, and right after they lost us, and just dominated everybody.
Yeah, I am
planted their flags in the ground and said, "You're listening to us now."
I am very familiar with European countries taking over other countries for gold, because I am of
Chilean, yeah.
I am Chilean descent, and there is a lot of gold in Chile.
Oh yeah.
Them mountains be gold, baby. But
Them mountains be gold. You're right.
mountains be gold.
Yeah. But I mean, and just the two, India and China, how many people there are there, and the British just walked in and like easily just said, "You're listening to us now." If you've got a problem with that, put up some fisticuffs, see how you do.
I'm like,
hello, Matt.
Hi, sorry. I'm like Googling. I'm Googling all countries that England currently has colonized.
Currently? Well, it's not.
I don't think there's anything.
You want to look at the British Empire? Like, just pull up a map of the British Empire.
I got you right now.
Yeah, that would be a good one, because it's mind blowing.
You're breaking up a lot on my end, at least.
Are you? Am I?
A little bit. Holy.
Yeah.
Good God.
Pull up a picture of that and put it in the chat.
I got you right now.
So we can show the subscribers the picture so they can be proud.
Everything in red.
It's still loading. Maybe I'm having issues too. There we go.
We're having a technical difficulties day, huh?
Yeah. Look at that. That is insanity.
That's wild.
And the other thing is I just realized that my video quality is not going to be very good because every time I have a small window, you can't see it so very well. So if you're listening and you're looking at this particular picture, sorry about that. But if you actually blew this picture up, there are dotted areas all over Europe and elsewhere in the world that are also stronghold points that you can't even see in this small picture. Or they have a base or a port or something that they're taking care of. Like Gibraltar, which is, right underneath Spain. Like it's basically like the entry point to the Mediterranean. They controlled that for a long time as well, which basically they said, we're the kings of the trade for the entire European continent, so deal with it.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, that's all of Canada. Massive country. That's all of Australia. That's all of India. That's like
they had us at one point, almost all the way to the Mississippi River.
Yep, I have another one of that where it shows more. It actually shows more. Here, I got you. I'll put another one in there.
Okay.
Bam.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, they didn't hold all this at the same time.
Well, not at the same
time,
but
it's close enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, most of South America was Spain. Mexico was Spain. There was like North Mexico that was part of Spain.
Mm-hmm. They were all over the Middle East as well. Look at that.
They were in the Caribbean also. The French took a lot in Africa. I mean, that's why Ethiopia and all those places speak. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure the majority of France. I mean, of course, all of France speaks French, but the majority of African nations speak French. Even the ones that were part of the British Empire.
Ethiopia was Italy. Sorry, Ethiopia was Italy.
Was it?
Yeah, I'm looking at all these. Ethiopia was colonized by Italy in the 1930s. Wow. Yeah,
that was Mussolini, his crazy ass.
That was only for 2 years, but still.
Yeah, well, he went into his big thing when he took power. He was saying, "I'm going to restore the Roman Empire," and he wanted to start off with Ethiopia. And the funny thing is, even that, because most people make fun of the Italians during that time, during World War II, because they didn't perform very well militarily. Well, they didn't even perform well against Ethiopia, who was basically fighting them with sticks and rocks. And, the Italians come in with tanks and modern weapons, and they they struggled big time. So that should have been an indicator to Mussolini, like, hey, I need to chill the fuck out.
You know, John Oliver referred to Mussolini as Pasta Hitler.
Pasta Hitler?
Pasta Hitler. That's a great name. That's a great nickname. I mean, it's a horrible nickname, but it's a great nickname. That's pretty funny to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but Hitler took over almost the entire continent of Europe. I mean, Mussolini didn't. Hitler had to bail when we invaded Italy from the south.
I don't know.
He actually had to go in there. The Germans actually had to go into Italy and replace the Italian troops because they were getting their asses kicked so bad. So they basically had to bail Mussolini out, and they had to bail him out in Greece too. When the Germans invaded, when the Italians invaded Greece, because at that point I think Albania was a colony of theirs, which is right above Greece, and they said we want Greece too, and the Greeks kicked the shit out of them when they tried to invade Greece, and then they basically begged Hitler to intervene, and his troops invaded Greece, and that was what knocked them out of the war. But if you look at the track record of Italy during World War II, it's not good at all. It's actually kind of a joke.
Yeah, honestly. I mean, back-to-back World War champs, but I think wartime is like all that war history is really interesting. It's obviously. Well,
yeah, basically history is the history of humankind is basically the history of war.
Yeah.
I mean, everything all the maps that you're looking at the vast majority of the maps you're looking at, even this one, were shaped by war.
Yeah.
It's you can't talk about history without talking about war, even if other parts of history are more interesting to you. You can't avoid it because war is the most important thing of history because it's what shapes the world.
Yeah,
especially in those days.
I think it's all really interesting. So, I love hearing about that kind of stuff. I mean, we've had really cool discussions about this stuff before in the past as well.
Yeah. And the what was something that just crossed my mind, but I completely forgot about it. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
No, nothing really. I was just talking about how all that stuff is interesting to me.
Yeah. It's another period that's interesting. Very, very bloody though, and when the Spanish were conquering all that territory in South America and Central America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and the Portuguese too. But that period, imagine being, like an Incan or an Aztec, and you're hanging out by the beach, and you just see one of those Portuguese or Spanish ships show up. And you see that the guy in the front of the boat holding a big-ass cross on a giant stick. And they're coming in, and you're just going, what the fuck is going on right now? Who the fuck are these people?
I'm not going to lie to you. As much as I love your narration of this, I don't know what's going on with my internet, or if it's your internet, I can barely hear you.
Really?
Yeah, you're cutting out. You're all robot sounding.
Robot sounding? That's like what you were like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, it's been bad for me for like 10 minutes, but I didn't want to interrupt you because you were on a roll.
Yeah. Well,
I'm too nice.
You're too nice, Matt.
I'm too nice.
Tell me how bad my audio is.
Yeah, this is. Should we hang up and try again?
Yeah, here, hold on a second. Fuck off, Matt. Internet's being a muppet right now. Unfortunately, these things happen, but it hasn't happened this bad. So I apologize for those who are listening that we're having these things. I need to get a better internet because this one that I have is caused me problems for months on end. So hopefully I'll get an upgrade soon. There we go.
Part of the podcast where everything goes to shit.
Yeah, how do I sound now?
Not robotic so far.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
It's weird. It did it on your end and then my end, so.
Yeah, that's really weird. But, hey, sounds better. All right.
Yeah.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. War and genocide.
Two great topics at a birthday party.
Yeah, or church.
Yeah.
Anyway.
What's another part of history that interests you?
I love Viking history.
Viking history.
Like
Queen
all the
Boomer would
pagans
love
and all
that. Her Scandinavian ass.
Yeah, I'm a big. I like pagan history. Like, I guess. Oh, I like Viking history a lot. Like all that pagan stuff and traveling to like Wessex and all that stuff. I think that stuff is so cool. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe it's just because I was a big fan of the Viking show. But I've always been interested in Viking stuff. I think it's cool. I think like Vikings.
I was a fan of that show in season 1. Season 2, I kind of lost interest.
I was a fan all the way through seasons 1 through 3. And then season 4 was like, in my opinion, was like the last good season. And everything else after that's been kind of crap. But I like that. I never saw the Northman. I wanted to see the Northman. And I never went and saw it.
Yeah, I kind of want to see that too, but I don't know.
Speaking of movies that we've recently seen, I heard that you saw Top Gun as well.
I did.
What did you think?
Fucking amazing.
Wasn't it, dude?
And I'm not shocked that it was amazing because I waited 3 weeks to see it, and I kept hearing from everyone and every social media source that like everyone unanimously said that it was great. So I knew it was going to be a good movie going in, but I was like, well, how really good can it be? It was great. It was probably the best movie that I've seen maybe in the last 3 or 4 years. It was
honestly,
and this is coming from someone who did not like the original Top Gun. I'm not a fan of the original Top Gun. I think it's kind of cheesy, and I mean the plane scenes were kind of cool, I guess, but I thought it was kind of a corny movie. But this one was, it just blew my mind how good it was.
I agree. It's funny that you really don't hear a lot about sequels that like the sequel is better than the original. There's like 3 sequels in the world where the sequel is better than the original, and this is one of them. Like this, like I liked the original Top Gun. I didn't really think it needed a sequel. In my opinion, I thought it was one of those like standalone movies where it doesn't need to be retouched or anything like that.
Yeah.
And then this new one came out, and dude, it was so good. It was so
good.
It's better than the first, in my opinion. I think.
Oh, it's so much better.
It's got that nice balance, you know. There's like, there's a couple jokes throughout the show, and the jokes land. They're very funny. They're not overloading with jokes. They're not trying hard to be funny. There's a lot. There's like emotional touches in it that are very good. It's very tense and suspenseful in the parts where it needs to be. It's got great landscape shots. Like it's got everything. It has,
and it's perfect. The one thing that I would add to that, even though I agree with everything you said, the one thing I want to add is that it's perfectly cast. Every character in that movie was perfectly cast.
Oh yeah. I love Miles Teller. I love Miles Teller as Rooster. I think that was really good. The guy who plays,
a good job, yeah.
The guy who plays Hangman looks like a dick. They played a dick perfectly.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You know, I didn't know who that actor's name was, but I've actually seen him in a few movies before, and he actually, every role I've seen him play, he's actually plays like a really good guy. So when I was seeing him in Top Gun, I was laughing my ass off because I was like, not only is he a bad guy, or a dick in this one, he's playing it perfectly.
Yeah, I was a big fan of this movie. I really was.
I loved it. I can't stress it enough. If you guys haven't seen the new Top Gun, please go see it. It's fantastic.
I will definitely agree.
My favorite was actually me and well, actually that's a lie. Queen Boomer's favorite was definitely Miles Teller as Rooster, but her second favorite, probably my favorite, other than Maverick himself, I thought Tom Cruise was phenomenal. was the chick that played, who was it, Phoenix?
Yeah.
Yeah, she was fucking great. Like, I actually, like, and I can't, like, you know, we go back to how perfectly cast this was. Like, I believe that this chick was, like, the leader of the young group. And just, like, a badass fighter pilot. Like, she had me convinced that, like, you know, she could boss all the guys around.
I haven't seen this actor in anything else, but I know he's in like a miniseries called Catch-22, and he was in this movie called The Strangers, and Lewis Pullman. He's the guy who plays Bob, like the nerd.
Yeah.
I thought he was perfectly cast.
And he was the backseat guy for Phoenix too.
Yeah, I don't want to say he's perfectly cast because I don't know the guy, but the guy played that role perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
He was great. They didn't like pour too much into him, but like the moments where they needed him, it was cool. And then the moments where he kind of failed, where it's like, I can't get it, and then Miles Turner's like, fuck it, I'm taking the shot. Like, I thought like that whole exchange was awesome. And like it was suspense. It was that suspense, and exactly like that whole like suspense thing where it's like, you know, it's the right amount, but they still get it. Oh, and I mean, and they had like cool little movie tropes and stuff in there, like the whole. I mean, if we're gonna spoil, we're spoiling the movie.
By the way, spoilers, everybody! Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. If you don't like spoilers, go spoil yourself somewhere else. Spoilers, spoilers. We're talking spoilers. Continue, Matt.
Spoilers. So I think this movie had a lot of like those funny movie tropes, or like good movie tropes, like for like that kind of like pilot movie, or just like movies in general. Like the whole. This one's for like general movies, like the whole like him jumping out of the window to like escape, and then as soon as he stands up, he turns, and the fucking person he's trying to avoid is right in the window looking at him, like that. Like I love that. That trope of like pilots doing escapes and things like that, where they barely like clip the wheels as they're escaping and all that stuff. Like they did that trope too. Like they did the trope where they're about to die and someone comes out of nowhere to save the day, and it's the guy you don't like who comes back and saves the day. Like they did like every movie trope correctly, you know?
Yes.
They did it all right. Everything that they did, like this movie, I don't think I've seen a movie stick the landing as good as this movie did, or at least this one's up there with the greats for like. It was perfect. I can't really think of a moment that I genuinely didn't like in Top Gun Maverick.
Neither can I. I was just about to say that. I can't think of a moment that I can really criticize right now at the top of my head. I'll tell you one thing though. We're talking about spoilers, and so this is another spoiler warning. But
spoilers.
Yes, but I actually. And I didn't think this was going to happen. I actually got choked up a little bit at one particular scene, and that was the scene with Val Kilmer as Iceman.
I cried at the end.
Did you?
I cried one tear. One tear fell out when they embraced. I looked at my friends, and I wasn't the only one. Trevor cried too. Trevor was crying like a baby.
Really?
Trevor cried. He bawled.
You know what I was just thinking? I was actually thinking of this right before we went on. For the Poodcoost. I was actually thinking that maybe one day we should have Trevor on.
I'd be down. He and Clink both said they're down. But I'd be down for that.
We should actually try to have Trevor on at one point.
Yeah, I'm down. He's down too. We can get him right here in the call.
Yeah, because he's on Discord all the time too, isn't he?
Oh, he is. There was a funny part. There was a part. Do you remember the part where Miles comes back and saves Tom, and he starts to crash, and he runs after him in the woods, and they meet up, and they're like yelling at each other, and there's that big pause. And I looked at the whole group, and I was like, kiss, 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 kiss.
Really?
There were so many moments where I was just looking at the guys, I was like, there's so much sexual tension here. Obviously not, but you know, I thought it was hilarious. But
I like how they played it out to where because you know the whole history between the two characters and
Oh, yeah.
how Rooster was really upset with Maverick, like, for his entire life after his father died. They did not have, like, a talk it out thing or, like, let's try to forgive what happened in the past thing.
They didn't air it on the thing. That was like
Right.
it
didn't happen until they both landed in enemy territory in the snow together. I thought that was great.
Yeah, and they were just like,
and it was good. The other thing I liked was when Rooster, right before they started the mission, he was thinking about doing it, and Maverick was like, "No, we'll talk after."
That was great.
Yeah,
honestly, I'm a big
because
fan
they
of
put
how
that doubt in your head, like that talk would never happen, because they put it in your head like one of these guys might die.
Again, it was the suspense in it, you know.
Yeah, it was a very. I mean, the execution of that movie was brilliant.
I genuinely thought they were going to kill off Top Gun. I thought they were going to kill off Maverick at one point. I thought
they were too. I thought that was a real possibility.
I genuinely thought that he was going to sacrifice himself to save Rooster, and then Rooster was going to carry on the legacy and all that. I genuinely thought that was the plot.
Mm-hmm.
They bamboozled. Yeah. I was bamboozled.
Yeah, I thought it was a possibility. I didn't think it was a guarantee, but I thought it was a possibility.
I was duped for sure.
But yeah, the Val Kilmer scene, I got really choked up because I don't know if you know this, but Val Kilmer, he hasn't been able to talk for about 5 or 6 years now because he had throat cancer.
Yeah, he got throat cancer back in 2015. We were actually talking about that on my clinical shift today while we were at the hospital. We were talking about Top Gun because all the nurses that I was with, they all saw Top Gun, so we were all talking about it. Yeah, no, he had throat cancer.
Yeah, so he's been without his voice for several years now.
Plus, isn't he all scarred up on his throat now? Doesn't that, like, he wears the scarves in real life? That wasn't just like a movie thing,
right?
He has like
because he had his throat cut open and shit. And if he wants to talk, he has to talk with one of those things or type it out like he actually did in the movie.
I think they really leaned into that, and I'm glad they did. Like, yeah. Val's,
but the crazy thing is, and I'm a huge Val Kilmer fan. I think he is one of the most underrated actors that's ever done it. Matt, have you seen Tombstone?
The Wyatt Earp movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I'm your Huckleberry. Yeah, that is one of the greatest performances of all time when Val Kilmer plays Doc Holliday, and it's probably the best. In my opinion, I think it's the best and most fun Western that we've ever produced in this country. It's such a fun film, and
well, I also love Kurt Russell. So
Kurt Russell's badass.
Another thing. I love
talk about a man's man. If you think Sean Connery is a man's man, just get a load of Kurt Russell. You skin that smoke wagon and see what happens. But
I'm a big Kurt Russell guy. I love him.
Yeah, but Val Kilmer, that scene choked me up because it makes me so angry that guy was robbed of his voice because of fucking throat cancer, especially because of how great of an actor he is. And he's an actor who has not been totally appreciated the way he should be, because he's phenomenal.
Yeah,
he is a phenomenal. I mean.
This is another actor.
You know who he really reminds me of? Like I think like he if you look at his work, especially when he was younger, he reminds me of, even though he came before him, he reminds me a lot of Heath Ledger.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, how he has such range. It's just incredible how many different roles that guy can play. But yeah, when he was doing that scene in the theater, I got choked up because I felt really bad for the guy. But even without a voice, with him just smiling and nodding and making facial expressions, he still killed that one cameo scene without a fucking voice.
Oh yeah, no, for sure.
And even though, like, at the end, his character is using a computer to talk, and he's telling Maverick to look at the screen. But at the end, the character uses his voice, but that wasn't his real voice. That was his son's voiceover work for him.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
so he mouthed the words, but his son actually recorded those things impersonating his dad.
Wow.
Isn't that special? To have your son do that for you?
I think it's crazy. And this is like the second. This is the second actor that we've talked about on the podcast before, where like a really bad medical condition has kind of stopped them from acting or like stopped them from doing what they want to do normally.
Who was the first one? Bruce Willis?
Yeah, we talked about Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
About him with his, I think it was dementia or something like that. He had, I forget what he had.
Was it dementia or Parkinson's?
That's a good question.
I think it was, I want to lean towards dementia. Or we could both be just Muppets and totally wrong about both of them.
Aphasia.
Yeah, okay.
That's
Not alopecia, folks.
No, not alopecia. Are we going there? Are we bringing this Will Smith stuff?
No, we're not. Just ignore that.
Good. Yeah, no. Language disorder
because alopecia is a very serious disease.
Yes. Yeah, aphasia diagnosis. A language disorder caused by damage to the areas of the brain responsible for expression and comprehension. So he has a brain disorder called aphasia where he has difficulty speaking. And aphasia, in the world of medicine and all that stuff, aphasia literally like that is the word for difficult or is being unable to speak because A is without in the medical field. You put like A before it, like asystole. Like you put if you put the letter A before something, and then you put the rest of the word, that's like their way of saying like without. So like aphasia is without speaking. Asystole is without heartbeat. Like things like that. So it's like,
and a fuck is without fucks. I have no fucks to give.
That was. I mean, I don't even know what to say.
Way to stop him in his tracks.
You stopped me in my tracks. That was. I don't know if that was in poor taste or not, but I feel like people would appreciate that regardless.
I will tell you one thing though: if you have alopecia, it's a very serious thing. But if you're a man and you have alopecia, nobody could give less than a fuck.
People don't care about men with non-fatal diseases or things that happen to them. Look at all the stories. Look at the stories about like the women who get mad at their spouse and like cut their dick off, and everyone just laughs at them and calls them like stumpy and shit. Like people don't give a fuck about men getting hurt unless it's like they die.
No, it's like what was it? I think Chris Rock said this in a stand-up. He was like, if there's a missing woman, it's like, oh my, whole world stops to take notice. Like, oh my God, we got to find her. She's got to be somewhere. We got to find this woman. And then it's like, well, Bob went missing during lunch yesterday. It's like, fuck Bob.
Yeah,
who gives a fuck?
There's like a 12-minute rant that Bill Burr does about that, about how people don't give a fuck about the men when these things happen, and then when men do bad things, they tear them apart. But when women do it, it's different. And I'm not saying I'm not saying that I agree or don't agree with it. There's a really funny Bill Burr joke about it, and he goes on a big rant about like Arnold Schwarzenegger and stuff and everything that happened to him.
I think I've heard this one. Yeah,
the gold digging horse one.
Yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. Like I think it's so funny.
There's a lot of women out there who hate Bill Burr.
I mean, that's par for the course. Have you heard his comedy?
Yeah.
He's not,
one of the funniest rants for me was when he hosted Saturday Night Live and he did that opening monologue.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen that one?
I have not, actually.
No,
I think I would because I love Bill Burr.
You gotta check that out. I'm not gonna tell you about it because I want you to watch it on
I'll check it out. We'll talk about it. I'll check it
out. But yeah, Top Gun, unbelievable. I couldn't give it enough praise.
I agree.
Matt, I want you to do something for me. Do you remember that link I sent you right before we started this thing? Man, I'm having like something stuck in my throat.
Yes.
That was your opportunity to say it was a cock.
Oh. Am I watching this thing now?
Yeah. All right, let me drag this over here.
Entertain the masses for 38 seconds while I watch this.
Yeah, actually, I'm just going to show the... I dragged this thing over to show the thumbnail. So it's Amber Heard attacks Camille Vasquez in a new interview. So what I want you to do, Matt, is when I say bang, I'm going to count down from 3. And when I say bang, I want you to hit the play button. Okay? Because we can't, like, for some, you know, if I play it just on my end, you can't hear it. So we got to hit the play button at the exact same time. But it will play on the podcast. But I want you to hear. I want them to hear this. But I want you to hear it at the same time that I play it. Okay?
All right, let's do it.
All right. So ready. 3, 2, 1, bang.
Truth is the word.
Yes.
And that was the issue.
And that's all I spoke. And I spoke it to power, and I paid the price.
In the closing arguments, the deputy lawyer said, called your testimony the performance of a lifetime, and said
It's
you were
certainly
acting.
better than Aquaman.
What do you say to that?
Says the lawyer for the man who convinced the world he had scissors for fingers.
What?
I stopped it after that.
Why would she even relate that? It's a movie.
Oh my god.
Oh god, I actually scrolled
This
up too
woman
far.
is the gift that keeps on giving, folks.
I actually scrolled up too far in our chat and I just saw Colin Farrell as the Penguin again. Oh god.
Yeah.
But no, wow. Why is that the point she's making?
Literally nobody thought Edward Scissorhands was real.
I was a small child when I saw that movie.
What a fucking deranged Muppet this woman is.
And I knew those weren't his hands. Like, I get it. It's supposed to be in the movie, but he's clearly stuck his hands into gloves that have scissors on the end of them. It's not...
Like this
what?
this woman sunk her own battleship, and now she's trying to fucking unscrew the plugs that are trying to stop it from leaking.
Shit. I'm at a loss for words. I've been at a loss for words like 6 times in this episode.
She's unbelievable. This woman is fucking crazy.
She is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bro.
Yeah. I can't even, like... Do you think... actually, that's a stupid question, because there is. I was going to say that, do you think there's guys out there, like even like your average guy, who would be willing to date this woman at this point?
No.
You don't think so? I think there is, because there's a lot of stupid fucking guys out there.
She's $6 million in debt. It's not. No one should touch her.
Oh, man. I can't believe anybody...
Like, if you think...
Go ahead, Matt.
If you, like... I was going to say, like, people make a big deal about, like, people that are, like, $5,000 or $10,000 in debt is, like, a thing. Like, I don't know if she's in debt. I don't know if I want to carry it. This woman is $6 million in debt. There's no shot.
She could, I mean, she would have to degrade herself, but she could easily make that up very quickly with an OnlyFans. I'm just saying.
I think people will just buy it just to see what happens. I'm not gonna lie to you. I would consider.
Would you?
Just to see like the front page one time, just to be like, what's going on in this OnlyFans? Is this serious? Buy it. Holy shit, it's real, and then get out.
Yeah, I mean, I would not consider. I don't want to see this woman at anything. This just like this one little clip popped up on my feed, and I had.
I mean, hypothetically speaking, we're talking about her. We're talking about her fake imaginary OnlyFans here. If I bought it, I would probably just show you. That way, you don't have to buy it.
No, I don't want to buy it.
Wow, do you hear that? Queen
even if I did, the Queen would never.
Boomer?
Even if I did, the Queen would never let me hear the end of it.
Good job.
Actually, the only way I would probably watch it is if the Queen got it and showed me, because she would be like, "Look at this bitch."
I mean, she wouldn't do it. Johnny Depp made an OnlyFans, different story.
Oh man, Matt, you kill me, bro.
Thank you. I try.
Yeah, I can't believe this one. Like, she must not be listening to anybody's advice.
This episode has really been all over the
I
place.
feel like everybody's advice to her would be to lay low and don't say anything to anybody with a fucking camera for at least a year, maybe 2.
Maybe forever.
You know what I mean? Well, I mean, the best thing for everybody would be forever, but that would never happen.
We'll see her like bagging groceries at Winn-Dixie or some shit. Great. A big check for $6 million. You know?
Yeah, right. I'm gonna pay it off in 57 years.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Not a fan. You know that. I don't like her.
No, nobody does right now. I'm sure there's like a small pocket of people who are fans of hers or something.
How do we always end up back on this stuff?
Because it's like I said, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
We talked about Will Smith for like 4 episodes. We're talking about Amber Turd for 4 episodes. Like, what's going on, man?
Yeah, well, we only talked about Will Smith for like 2.
I feel like it was more.
Yeah, maybe.
I feel like it was 3 or 4. I
don't keep track, but I think the Johnny Depp Amber Heard thing definitely lasted like 4 episodes.
Yeah, we need more celebrity drama to keep the podcast going.
Yeah. But I mean, this woman opens her mouth and I just gawk because I'm like, I can't believe what's coming out of this deranged woman's mouth every time.
She's just spewing nonsense out that thing, bro.
And you know she hates that Camille Vasquez lady.
Oh, for sure.
That woman.
That's not even a question.
That woman laid the fucking smackdown on her.
That's not even a question.
Yeah. I don't know if she named her by name, but she's seething. She probably will eventually. She's gonna be like, "Fuck this bitch."
That woman is seething right now, dude.
Yeah. So did we hit everything that we wanted to talk about, or is there something else you wanted to bring up or anything?
I think we hit everything. I don't remember. I'm pretty sure we hit everything.
Yeah, I feel like we're missing one thing that we were going to talk about. I'm not sure.
I don't know. We've been going for a while.
Yeah. Actually, I will bring this up and dive back into the history thing. I guess, yeah, history thing a little bit because you were talking about Vikings and, the Queen. Most of her ancestry is Scandinavian. But this might be a little personal, but her father actually did one of those DNA test things.
Yeah.
Because
good God.
He actually, I'm starting to, something's going on. Maybe I'm getting Val Kilmered. I don't know.
Oh my God. All right.
What? Come on, man. Lighten up.
I'm fuck you, Brian. All right. Listen here. I was lightened up.
Sensitive Muppet. Grow a set.
I'm not being sensitive. I'm just, it's, no, whatever.
Hey, it's coming from somebody who absolutely loves Val Kilmer, so calm the fuck down, all right?
All right, keep going.
But but anyway, yeah, he did a DNA test and it like basically like
punk-ass motherfucker.
Showed that it showed that most of his blood was Scandinavian and stuff. But I always think I bring that up because I was actually thinking like I remember seeing because remember how big those DNA tests were like 5 or 6 years ago and how everybody was doing them.
Yeah,
I remember watching. I can't remember if it was a TV program or if I just saw it on like YouTube back in the day or something. But this woman who was an American woman, she was a raging racist, like hated black people like to the bone. And then somebody, and this was all, she was saying all these obscene things about black people. And so the people who were interviewing this woman like challenged her to get a DNA test because they're like, what if you have, African blood in you? And she was like, that's absurd. And they like kind of like coaxed her into doing it by saying like, well, you got to prove it to us that you don't have any African blood. You probably, and they were saying like they were egging her on. Like it was kind of funny because they were like,
gaslighting her.
Yeah, like you probably do. You just don't know about it. And she was like, I don't have any fucking African blood in me and I'll prove it to you. Give me the damn test. And then she did the test and it turns out that 9% of her blood is West African.
Yep.
And she was devastated. I mean, thoroughly devastated. Like to the point where like, she was bawling her eyes out, didn't say a word for the rest of the thing. That was it. That's all I remember from the thing. I wish I could find this fucking thing.
Huh. That's kind of pathetic.
Yeah. Isn't that? Yeah. How pathetic is that? And it's like, because my answer, like yours, mine's actually sort of similar to yours. It's Italian, Irish, and a little bit of English.
Right.
But if I took a DNA test, there's probably like a little bit of something, maybe several somethings that I don't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I also bring that up because imagine like if that kind of technology was available to someone like Hitler.
Oh.
And somebody actually sat him down and was like, well, I bet you got some Jewish blood in there somewhere, sir.
Damn.
And he just goes, 999, I'll show it to you right now. And then he ends up having like 12% Jewish blood or something like that.
That's really where the podcast went, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. How funny would that be?
Sticking to your guns. I like it.
I'm sticking to my guns. I'm a wackawoon, folks.
Sticking to your MP40. I like it. But yeah. No. I think that'd be a little wild.
Yeah. I mean, imagine if you're like a racist towards a certain group of people and then you find out that you have their fucking blood in you somewhere.
I mean, it could also go the other way. He uses it on people and then finds out that they're secretly Jewish and they don't know it, and then he just kills more people.
Oh, God, I didn't think of that. Well, anyway, folks, thank you for listening to the podcast. Oh, God. Oh, I think I just... I'm glad I didn't say that in 1939.
Yeah, you said it in 2022 instead. You did.
If I said it in 1939, he would have been like, "Great idea, sir."
You did so much better.
Yeah. Oh, good Lord.
Well, thanks for tuning into the final episode of the podcast ever, guys. We appreciate it. We're about to go get canceled.
Oh no, we won't. We're just talking shit.
They don't even know who we are.
Yeah, well, YouTube, it does know who I am because they have to review a lot of my videos all the time.
Well, they know who you are. They don't know who I am.
Yeah. Well, they know that your name is Matt.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, and they know that you have Italian, Irish, and Chilean ancestry.
I still feel like that doesn't narrow it down that much.
And they know that you live in Florida.
I still feel like that doesn't narrow it down enough.
And they know that you have a humongous head.
I do have a big head. Have you seen this thing? Have you seen this noggin? You've seen it. You know me personally.
Yeah. Look at the head and the icon. It fills up almost the entire circle.
That is arguably one of the best photos I've ever taken in my entire life.
It is. That's a great photo.
I love that photo. It's my YouTube cover photo on my YouTube channel. The one that I'm supposed to do, but got really lazy and busy and couldn't make it anymore. But it's my YouTube video on there is over a year old, and I think I'm just going to start streaming on it. I think I want to put out a video, I want to put out a video of something like, like highlights of 2020, whatever, and it's just going to be like a blank screen with like the Curb Your Enthusiasm theme or something like that. It's going to be great. It's going to get millions of views. That's my plan. Yeah. A guy who hasn't put out content in almost 2 years, like what I've been doing, or highlights of this streams, and it's just like a blank screen.
Yeah.
That's going to be...
well, I mean, think of something that you like doing. And
well, I know that I like doing it. I just don't have the time. Like this podcast.
Yeah, I mean, especially you. I can't believe you have time to do podcasts, really.
I mean, we're recording at 11. It's quarter after midnight.
Yeah.
We're making it happen.
Yeah. Because the amount of between work and school and training and all that shit, I can't believe you find time for anything, really. It's very impressive.
Yeah, I don't know either, honestly.
Yeah.
But
you'll be showing up with the Avengers squad in no time.
Dude, when I'm done with school, I'm going to have so much free time. It's going to be so... I cannot wait.
When's that going to be?
December 10th.
Oh, not anytime soon.
6 months away.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say, in about a month, and then you can enjoy the rest of the summer.
Nope. I get it right before Christmas.
Yeah. Well, all right, folks. We'll wrap it up at that point. Thank you for listening. We actually made this one almost an hour and a half this time, so we stretched it out a little bit.
This episode has
But
been
that first, what'd you say?
This episode has been a glorious mess.
It's been a glorious mess. But, yeah, the first, 45 minutes just flew by because I was having so much fun talking about all that stuff. But, yeah, thank you guys for listening. I am King Boomer. This has been Matt, a.k.a. Cousin Boomer, and maybe we should contact Trevor sometime soon to see if he wants to do one. Because
if he wants to,
he'd probably be a good convo. Because every time I talk to that kid, it's always a great convo.
Yeah. See if he wants to weigh in on our Hitler conversation.
Dude, I couldn't imagine what he would say.
Oh my god.
Because he's funny too.
Yeah, I mean he's no Cousin Boomer, but he is pretty funny.
Oh, throwing a shot out there at your buddy.
No, I'm just talking about how awesome I am. That's about it.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy, but I'm a great guy. So, anyway.
Yeah, whatever, you muppet. Yeah. All right, guys.
Fuck you, bitch.
All right, we'll see you guys next time on Case of the Mondays. We'll see you guys. Say goodbye, Matt.
Bye, Muppets.